The thing that is really key is the IT department is about cost avoidance, and the IT department is the gatekeeper to make sure that the technology is in place to support what they need. But the IT department is not the one that owns the budget. So the question you need to ask is, why are you asking me this? Which business unit is asking for it, and why? What is it that the business unit is trying to accomplish? And then once you understand that, then you can work with the IT department to say it's less about this, like cheapest price wins. It's more about, did we actually include the components required in order to support what these guys are trying to do?
When IT and the business define a system's importance differently, nobody bridges that gap until something goes wrong. Here's what that actually looks like.
Now I'll give you an example. A lot of people use email. And a lot of people treat email as a requirement to run their business, but it's not mission critical. It might not even be business critical. It's just a business app that people need to use. So if the only person you're talking to is IT and you're trying to build an infrastructure that supports the email system, he might not make it as robust as it should be, because as far as he's concerned, it's just a mail system and it's no big deal. Now let's say the mail system falls over, and then the IT department is asked to bring it up, and they find out that it's going to take a couple of days in order to bring it back, because they don't have backups and stuff like that done in such a way that they can recover quickly. And I've actually lived this experience, so I know it. And then all of a sudden they get a phone call from the CEO and they say, I can't access my email. And the guy says, we know that and we're working on it, but it's just an application within the system. I think we'll be okay. And then the CEO says, no, you don't understand, young man. What do you think I do with my email? I attach contracts and commitments, etc., back and forth with the various people we're doing. If my email system is down, I'm down. That means we're not doing anything that we need to do significantly. Why is my system down? Oh, we tagged it as an application. Did you not think of it as business critical? No, we didn't. Did you not think of it as mission critical? No, we didn't. Well, do you realize in the C-suite, as far as we're concerned, it's mission critical? Why didn't you do that? Well, it would have cost 3 times more money in order to support the email system with backup, recovery, redundancy, etc.
That gap between what IT recommends and what the business actually needs is where projects stall. And it's also where the most important conversations need to happen.
What happens is most people don't have those tough conversations. Like, how do you evaluate something? What's your ROI? What is the TCO associated with this, etc.? Once you understand that and you put your solution in that package and present it to them, that's what they care about. They can make a financial decision. It's pretty easy.
So a lot of times we're there to coach the IT teams on how to speak to their leadership to justify this purchase. It's multimodal, right? So it's a lot of just getting your hands dirty, really. So you go into their website, and a lot of public companies will post all their business plans, all their financial results, everything will be there. So you can sift through it to determine how much they're spending in IT, how much they're spending on this particular project that hasn't been working, it's been failing. They'll talk about what their initiatives are for the year, and then you simply just have to ask questions. So once you've done that research, you can go ask them if you've got the connection. Start at IT if you want, or whoever you have a connection with, and start building out your relationship map with the account. And sometimes you bring them the idea, and that's where your value really shines. So if you can come to them and say, I've looked over your financial results and I've determined that you can cut back your expenses on X by 20% if you do such and such a thing, and just so happens we can help you put that in place. They go, really? So if we bring to light something that they never thought of themselves, that's the golden ticket.
When IT and the business are speaking the same language, something shifts. The conversation moves from cost justification to competitive advantage.
We help build the business case, and we help show them, this is how you need to present it in such a way that they get it. Because it's really, you might find this interesting, but there's a lot of people that work within a big company that actually doesn't understand how that company operates and how they make decisions, etc. I had another one where the guy came up to me and he said the solution is not going to fly because it's $1 million short. And I said, so what are you going to do? And he says, well, I'm going to go talk to my senior vice president, let him know what's going on and see what happens. So he went in and he said, you remember that solution you want that you're sponsoring? And the guy said, yeah. And I said, I need 8 million and it actually needs to be 9 million. And the guy said, yeah. And he said, so are you basically saying you want another $1 million? And he said, yeah. He says, it's done. And he said, how can you do that? How can you do that? I haven't even told you, how we screwed up, what's going on, etc. And he said, here's what you don't understand. The technology that we're putting in place will allow for us to do conference calls, etc. Right now, I have a $40 million budget to fly these people around the world to do geology and geophysical conversations in person. I'll send out a memo tomorrow that says from now on, you use this technology first. I've got $40 million to play with. I'll bet you within a month I can get that down to 10. I just found 30 million. I'll give you $1 million. And right now it's costing us about 10 to 15 million to drill a hole. I can go drill 2 more holes. There you go, done. And that guy in IT didn't even understand how that business case stuff worked. But that was the senior vice president of exploration for a large oil and gas company internationally.
And Peter touched on something there too. The idea of IT being a cost center. I think that's been sort of the traditional legacy viewpoint of IT, is that it's a nice to have. It's not a must to have. But that attitude is changing. I mean, a lot of the C-suite now are coming in and they understand that, I can't remember what the exact number is, but it's probably at least 90% of all business processes run on some form of technology or IT. And for you to remain competitively ahead against everybody else, it's that data that you maintain that is really so important to you. It's your competitive advantage and how you manipulate that data and show how it can be used better to run your business better. So yeah, it's that mindset of a cost center is changing so that it's more of a critical to the business as opposed to just a nice to have.
If you have a technology initiative that keeps stalling, sometimes what's needed isn't more technical justification. It's a different conversation.